All right, here we go. Last city council meeting.
Good evening, everyone. If you please take your seat. We
Oh,
have
dear.
a special guest with us this evening. That is the Indianapolis Metropolitan Youth Orchestra, a youth and family development program of the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra, here to play a couple of pieces for us at our last meeting of the council and of this session. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
All right. First off, the noise does not start coming back in for another minute. So I'm just going to tell you what's going on. The very first hour of this council meeting is so boring. So I'm probably going to talk during most of it. The second half, where they start finalizing all the proposals that they had during committee meetings, I will stay a little bit more quiet on. Until then, yeah, don't worry. This sound does not kick on for like another 20 or 30 seconds, but that's pretty much the gist of it. The very first hour, we're going to be talking a little bit. The second hour, we're getting a little bit of fireworks. Don't mind. It's going to be great. Me and you, just me and you, together for this final council meeting of the year. Hopefully the music kicks on here in a second. There we go. I like how Monroe Gray, he's just, nobody's standing, everybody's kind of distracted. No one's like, oh yeah, it's great. Who's that, Carlino in the back? She's not doing a single thing. That bitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Indianapolis Metropolitan Youth Orchestra.
Hey, there we go,
Thank
folks.
you.
See Suzanne Crouch in the audience today, too. Maury showed up late, as usual.
I'll now call to order the City County Council meeting for Monday, December the 4th, 2023. And we will begin our meeting with the prayer and pledge of allegiance led by Councilor Adamson.
Hey, why don't you like chill out for a second? This stuff should have been figured out already. Pastor.
Good evening and welcome to this City Council meeting for December. I have with me a neighborhood leader from the Near East Side. He and I have worked together for, I don't even know how many years now.
A lot.
A long time. Pastor Jay Height of Shepherd Community.
Would you bow your heads?
Go for it if you want to.
Father God, we thank you for the leadership that is here. We thank you for those who've answered the high call of elected office. We pray wisdom and protection and guidance for them. We pray for our public safety officials who are serving this community. Father, bring peace to our city, and may we be the agents you use. And we thank you for the hope that is Christmas. We thank you for our friends that are here and throughout our city. We love you, and we know that you are the God of the city. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Pastor. And Mr. President, in a measure of personal privilege, if I may, councilors, friends, and fellow residents, both here and watching at home, welcome to this final meeting of the year of our City Council and my final meeting as your colleague. As we stand together to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, I am humbled and honored to share a few reflections with you. 12 years
lovely.
ago, I stood in this very chamber for the first time as Indiana's first openly gay countywide elected official, fighting back tears during the first pledge that may have seemed overdramatic, but the words seemed to mean a lot more to me that day. Today, those strong emotions symbolize a journey of resilience, progress, and the enduring spirit of inclusivity. Recently, I had the privilege of attending the Victory Institute's International LGBT Leadership Conference in Washington, D.C. It was there that I met a courageous LGBT congressman from Guatemala, a man who has faced attempts against his life, and his dedication to serving his constituents, his people, is awe-inspiring, especially as he works to navigate the challenging transitions of government following their elections earlier this year. In Guatemala, the current right-wing government is resisting the election results, attempting to retain power by delegitimizing the rightful winner.
Oh my
The
God.
struggle for democracy
Here we
is
go.
real and transcends borders. Tonight,
Blah,
as we join together
blah,
to recite
blah.
the Pledge of Allegiance, let us not only speak the words, but also to take a moment to reflect on the fragility of our own democracy.
Shut the fuck up.
Our Constitution and the rule of law are the bedrock of our republic, but they are not impervious to threats, even from within. My hope is that as we recite the pledge, we commit to stand with those who are willing to protect, preserve, and defend these principles. Our democracy relies on the collective commitment of its citizens, and without it, the very fabric of our nation is in peril. And this is not an overreaction.
Oh, okay.
So let us stand united, not just in words, but in our shared responsibility to safeguard the values that make our nation strong. As we recite the pledge tonight, may it serve as a reminder of the ongoing work that is required to ensure that our democracy remains resilient and enduring for generations to come. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. President.
This was before Maine. This might have been before Colorado, too, with the states trying to take Trump off the ballot. So, I had a little bit of empathy for Zach getting taken out by that socialist, Jesse Brown, but now that is totally gone. Fuck you. Fuck off. No Barth.
There are 24 councilors present.
No John
Councilor
Barth.
Barth has asked to be excused for this evening. We have no guests that will not be part of the agenda, so the next item on our agenda is official communications. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, you are hereby notified that regular meetings of the City County Council, Police, Fire, and Solid Waste Collection Special Service
Yeah.
District
Hey, you know
Councils
what? If I
will
gotta
be held
suffer,
in the City
you
County
gotta
Building
suffer.
in the Public Assembly Room on Monday, December 4th, 2023 at 7 o'clock p.m. The purposes of such meetings being to conduct any and all business that may properly come before regular meetings of the council. Sincerely, Bob Osley, President, City County Council. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the laws of the state of Indiana, I have caused to be published in the Court and Commercial Record and in the Indianapolis Star on Friday, November 24th, 2023, a copy of Notice of Public Hearing on proposal numbers 325 through 328, 334 through 336, 346 through 349, and 355, 2023.
Yeah, long 2
Said
hours.
hearing to be held on
That's all I
Monday,
gotta tell you.
December 4th,
It's gonna be a long 2 hours.
2023 at 7 o'clock p.m.
Ugh.
in the Public Assembly Room of the City County Building. Respectfully, Yolanda Winfield, the Clerk of the City County Council. Ladies and gentlemen, I have approved with my signature and delivered this day to the Clerk of the City County Council, Yolanda Winfield, the following ordinances. General Ordinance Number 47, 2023. General Resolution Numbers 33
It's a
through
lot. It's a
35,
lot.
2023. Special Resolution Numbers 35 through 37, 2023. Joseph H. Hogsett, Mayor.
For
Mr.
now.
President, this concludes the official communications.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The next item on our agenda is the adoption of the agenda, and Vice President Adamson.
Thank you, Mr. President. With consent, I would like to amend the agenda to move Proposal 337 to the section under public hearings just after Proposal 355.
Do I have consent to the adoption of the agenda with this modification?
Who's gonna be the
The
new
next item on our
president?
agenda is
Probably
approval of
Bob,
journals
right?
from November the 13th, 2023. Do I have consent? We'll now proceed to the presentation of petitions, memorials, special resolutions, and this first item on our agenda is proposal number 204, which recognizes the inaugural Indiana Roundtable on Mental Health Summit,
Oh, here we go.
hosted by Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch.
Blah. Come on, giddy up. Let's go. So basically, they're like, hey, whoever believes in mental health, come down here. And, you know, this is kind of those
Thank you, Mr. President.
crossing the
I would ask my colleagues if you'd like to join me.
cross-party lines.
Cross the aisle,
Cross the aisle.
if any would.
Hey.
City
Hey.
County Special Resolution Number 39,
Oh,
2023.
it's Gregory Merriweather.
Thank you so much.
Right over here.
A special
Where's my
resolution
mouse?
recognizing the
over
inaugural
here.
Indiana Roundtable on Mental Health Summit. The reason I ask, because mental health is something that we all, regardless of what side of the aisle we're on, is a bipartisan issue. It affects everyone. We probably all know someone who's been affected, or a family member, a friend, a colleague, by mental health. It's hosted by Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch, and she's here with us today. Can we give her a round of applause? Whereas 1 in 5 Hoosiers suffer from mental health illness and addiction, and many in need of assistance do not realize they need our help or are reluctant to seek it, while others do not know where to turn or have help or obstacles or barriers to receiving the help and resources they are desperately in need of. And whereas the Indiana Behavioral Health Commission, established in 2020, held a series of meetings over a 2-year period, which resulted in a policy and funding recommendations to the Indiana General Assembly to better address the mental health issues and crises in Indiana. Whereas in 2021, as a part of these efforts, Lieutenant Governor Crouch, who throughout her many years of public service has been committed to programs and services for people with disabilities, led the charge in instituting the Indiana Mental Health Roundtable, IMHR, committed to partnering with institutions and organizations, both public and private. 1, to reduce the stigma surrounding mental health. 2, to strengthen the mental health delivery system. And 3, to improve access and affordability resources. And would you like to speak? Go ahead.
Go ahead, Adamson. Go for it, buddy.
Whereas in January of this year, Lieutenant Governor Crouch testified before the Indiana Senate Appropriations Committee to advocate for
Are we
Senate
sure
Bill
Crouch
1,
isn't a dude?
which allocated more funding toward mental health services across the state, stating that unrelated costs of mental illness in Indiana is over $4 billion, so we cannot afford to not pass Senate Bill 1. And whereas the first historical Indiana Roundtable on Mental Health Summit was held on May 16, 2023 at the Hyatt Regency in downtown Indianapolis and brought together over 500 attendees representing more than 200 unique organizations and agencies from across the state of Indiana to work together to find solutions to address the mental health and substance abuse crisis faced by Hoosiers, centering around faith, youth, and workforce. And whereas
I'm going to pause this real quick. All right, so first off, it took them almost 3 years to even build this whole round table. And second off, this whole convention was a giant jerk-off fest. They were all trying to figure out, hey, how can we use tax money to have this mental health problem fixed? Well, let me tell you what, Suzanne Crouch, you were part of the problem. You and old Holcomb decided to shut down Indiana, keep people in their homes, make small business owners struggle, and you're wondering, it's like, boy, I wonder why we have such a huge mental health epidemic. Oh boy, maybe because of jerk-offs like you. Fuck off.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Whereas multiple Indiana Mental Health Roundtable members, including IMHR co-chair Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch, Chief Justice Loretta Rush,
And
Steve Simon, Dr. Allison Barber, Kaylin Jackson, and Dr. Jerome Adams participated in large group sessions with guest speakers Dr. Monty Burks, Donna Jackson, Scott McCorkle, and professional Hoosier athletes to offer insight into current mental health issues and discuss potential solutions. And whereas summit breakout sessions featured a variety of experts and perspectives from faith communities, the behavioral healthcare workforce, and youth professionals sharing knowledge about best practices and innovative ideas for meeting the needs of Hoosier individuals and families across their lifespan through multiple service areas, including schools, churches, medical institutions, community organizations, and
whereas Governor Holcomb held a ceremonial signing of the 2023 Indiana General Assembly Senate Bill 1, authored by Senator Michael Crider, and House Bill 1006, authored by Representative Gregory Strawalder, to honor the historic prioritization and promotion of mental health solutions in the Indiana legislature. During the signing, additional key stakeholders from the organizations such as Mental Health of America, Indiana, and the Indiana Council of Community Mental Health Centers, state agencies such as the Division of Mental Health and Addiction, IMHR members, joined Governor Holcomb on the stage to demonstrate their support of these enacted documents. Therefore, be it resolved by the City County Council of the City of Indianapolis and Marion County, Section 1, the Indianapolis City County Council proudly recognizes the inaugural Indiana Roundtable on the Mental Health Summit held on May 16, 2023 at the Hyatt Regency, Indiana, downtown Indianapolis. Section 2.
Oh,
the council,
jeez. You were still doing this. Okay.
Almost done.
Oh.
Thanks all individuals, agencies, and organizations who participated in this momentous summit, as well as those who seek to find solutions on a daily basis, and encourages all citizens of the Indianapolis and the state of Indiana to support continued initiatives to address the critical mental health crisis in our city and state. Section 3. Furthermore, as a participating moderator and member of the planning committee for the summit, Councilor Lakeisha Jackson proudly recognizes the work and efforts that the IRMH and others have involved to make this historic event a success. Section 4, the mayor is invited to join this resolution by affixing his signature, and he has. Section 5, this resolution shall be full in effect and upon adoption and compliance with Section IC-36-4-14.
What are you
This
smiling
special
at?
resolution was sponsored by Councilor Jackson and was passed by the City County Council this 4th day of December 2023. And Mr. President, I so move.
The motion has been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay.
Okay.
Motion carries. Back to the speakers.
Mr. President, may I have our Honorable Lieutenant Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch say some words?
Yes, please.
And before she does, I just want to mention the Indianapolis Pastors Coalition and
good
other
God.
faith-based organizations. This is the first year that this component was offered at a mental health summit, which was huge for our city and our state. And they really felt honored and privileged and was able to elevate and open the doors for those who they served. And we have members of the Indianapolis Pastors Coalition here. I want to make sure we got a vice president here and make sure he's acknowledged, Pastor Reynolds. But come on up, Lieutenant Governor Crouch. We appreciate you and the work that you're doing to echo the voice of so many and being an access and resource for us and supporter. Thank you. Come on up.
Thank you, Councilwoman Jackson. Thank you, council members. Shared a lot of information. The why, I think, is important.
Oh.
You know, I grew up
How did
in
we
a
get here,
family that
though?
I thought was perfect and normal, and
Oh my God.
it wasn't until, because we all think that when we're young, and it wasn't until I was a young adult that I realized that my mother, who was always very loving, struggled with depression and anxiety her whole life. I didn't realize that my older brother, Larry, was an alcoholic and died last year, drank himself to death. Nor my younger sister, Nancy, who died in her
Oy.
early 20s by
Jeez.
suicide on her third attempt. My husband and I, we got married and we had our perfect normal family.
But
We have our daughter, Courtney, who is 16 years sober and bipolar. And so when you have seen Hoosiers that have struggled because of the genes they inherit or the situations they find themselves in, we know
More likely
that we
that.
all have to do something. And this isn't a state issue. This isn't a city-county issue. This is a Hoosier issue. And so thank you
That's
for the
right.
recognition. Thank you for being the public servants that you are and taking up this cause. I know that just very recently you all visited with the division, or some of you visited with the Division of Mental Health and Addiction to Baton Rouge to learn more about a recovery center. And please know that
might
the
have to
state is
change
here to
this
partner with
cable.
you so that we can help those Hoosiers who need the help themselves. So thank you for your service. Thank you for this recognition
gotta change this
for those that
cable.
are struggling with mental illness and addiction, and God bless you.
Thank you.
These are your hands, so you guys, if you don't have any, so we'll
I'm gonna wait until this is done. I'm gonna change this cable.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
I think I got it now. Let's see. Sure. I don't know. We'll see. I got this new HDMI cable. It's a
The next
shorter
item on
one.
our agenda is proposal number 373, which honors Ariel Stigler for winning the Boys and Girls Club of Indianapolis 2023 Youth of the Year Award.
All right, this is kind of lame. Who cares?
Mr. President,
Yes.
Miss Ariel was not able to be here in time. If we can get a motion to postpone.
Till next year.
Thank you very much. All right, moved and seconded.
Thank you.
All this stuff is kind of lame. I'll keep playing it in the background though, just so you
The
know
next
what's
item
going
on our
on.
agenda is proposal number 374, which celebrates the life of Kenneth N. Giffen.
All right, nobody cares. So I got this new HDMI cable. It's shorter, and I only have one. So whenever I would change it over to the TV to this one, I just kept having to swap back and forth, but I noticed that Suzanne Crouch's hair and Krista Carlino's hair was like really gray, and it was showing up okay on this TV that I have, the separate monitor that I have, but it was showing gray on my laptop. So I think I got it. I don't know. Is Carlino's hair looking fine now? I don't know. Whatever. I'm gonna give it a shot. I'll just go get a different cable today. We'll see what happens. So come on. Well, let's talk, huh? Shall we talk for a little bit? Let's talk. Okay, so this is pretty much how the
Yes,
city
President.
council works.
Tonight we are here to celebrate the life of our good friend and friend of the city, Kenneth Giffen.
Okay, don't care.
And we're pleased to have his family here this evening to say a few words.
I don't know this guy. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter for everybody who's out there in YouTube land. So this is how the city council normally works. You'll have they'll have an introduction of proposals.
Kenneth and Giffen was
Shut up, Boots. Um, you'll have an introduction of proposals, whatever it is. It might be a TIF, it might be a curb or a lowering of the speed limit. And then those proposals will go into their own committee, whether it's Public Works, DMD, yada, yada, yada. And so the committees will decide if they want to approve those proposals or not, and that would be the time where they have questions. Well, let me tell you what, it actually goes much deeper than that. And you can go back and watch these board meetings that they have on the streaming channel that they have for all the city council and the committee meetings. It's all the way at the very bottom, and as far as I can tell, it's been recorded as long as they have been recording it. So you can go down. So, like for example, they were talking about what was it, the AES tax hike, and they were having a proposal to freeze whatever the charge is right now, and nobody could figure out what was going on. So I went back and looked at the board meeting, and they didn't even know what was going on either. And it was more like, oh, it's a proposal to keep it in limbo, and so just to keep it going, basically. Nobody really knew. Really knows what's going on, and you don't think for 1 second that any of these council members know what's going on all the time, because they don't. And I don't think I don't think they care to either. They're just like, rubber stamp, okay, another rubber stamp, okay, keep it going, keep the machine rolling. And it's really sad when we think about, like, these are our elected officials. These are the people representing us in our district. And, and what are we supposed to think about them? I think they're crap. I think they're garbage. I don't like any of them. Yeah, I don't really like any of them. On both sides of the aisle, really. Maybe Bane. Bane and Paul Hart seem to be okay. The rest of everybody else kind of blows. But if you really want to see, like, how much does your city council member care about you, get in contact with them. Email them. Find out if they email you back, and two, how long it takes for them to email you back. I have emailed Jared Evans, Jessica McCormick, Krista Carlino, and they've never emailed me back. In fact, back in October of last year, of 2022, there is this giant West Side forum, and in one of the slides, Jessica McCormick showed up, and then she left right before they started talking. Like, that's my district counselor, and she does not give a damn about me. So there was one slide in there when they were talking about how high the taxes are going to go, and I think it was about 15%. And in the slide they said that it was going to be for certain homes. So I emailed VOP, Jared Evans, McCormick, and Carlino, oh, and Kristen Jones too. They were all there. And I only got an email back from VOP, and then he was like, "Oh no, this is actually good, because that means uh the your property is going to go up in value." And I was like, "That's cool, but I'm not selling it. I'd actually rather keep my property value low, because my taxes won't go up then." And this is like the part that annoys the crap out of me about that. It's like, everybody wants their property value to go up. Oh, that's cool when you're ready to sell. but you're probably going to be in there for a while. So why don't we keep it low for right now? You're going to make money no matter what. Property value never goes down. It always goes up unless there's like some crazy thing that happens like 2008. And so you're going to be fine. Okay. So, then they'll go back, going back, they'll get approvals on that kind of stuff. But you kind of have to look at some of these board meetings too, because there's Indigo, there's Public Works, the airport has one. There's also minor ones. I haven't been able to find any of the fatality review crash team. That's been really annoying. But they're supposed to come out with a report next month, allegedly. So just to keep an eye on that kind of stuff. And this is all these things that they're talking about with that it has Suzanne Crouch. Let's see who this next.
75, which recognizes the Crown Hill Neighborhood Association.
Yeah, this kind of bullshit. It's annoying. And then they'll go and recognize whatever for some like unknown reason. I don't know. It's just more like a jerk off fest. And well, Oliver over here, he's retiring, so maybe that has something to do with it, but I don't know. But next year is going to be very interesting because you have a whole bunch of new city council members showing up. I don't even remember all their names. And I was going to do a video on what to look out for, but, you know, you don't know what they're going to flip-flop on. Like Zach Adamson and that. I had empathy for him getting taken out in the primary from the socialist Jesse Brown, but now I just don't. I don't care. Fuck that guy. Jesse Brown's it's just gonna be a lapdog for VOP. He's gonna be another rubber stamper. It doesn't really matter. And I'll tell you a little bit of story on him. So the only reason why he won the primary is because he lied to everybody. He had voted against the Signia Hotel. For those who don't remember, it was the multi-million-dollar new hotel happening in downtown Indy, and he was against it. And even on his website, there was a petition for it to not to happen. So you can imagine all these people in that district. They're like, I don't want my tax money going to that. We still have roads that need to be fixed up, and they're on the east side. And anybody who spent any time on the east side, that whole area is a shithole. Like, it makes me sad. I have to take a shower when I get home after visiting the east side because I just feel so dirty. So he had that. He wins the primary, and within a week, he flips his position on it. Now he's all pro Hotel Signia. He's pro taxpayer money going to this hotel. So if that was the platform that you were running on, and then as soon as you win the primary, which he eventually won the election, obviously, what else are you going to flip on? You have no stance. That's so cowardly. It's such a bullshit move. And the worst part is your voters are okay with that. You're okay. They are okay that you have some dipshit that's going to flip-flop on every single policy that he has. He has no line. And this is what I absolutely love about Democrats. I kind of wish Republicans were this way too, but they have too much integrity. Is that whatever is put out in front of them, they'll vote on it. Whatever Democrats are selling, Democrat voters will buy it. It doesn't matter. They're just low IQ dipshits. And it just irritates the shit out of me that you're going to vote for somebody that wants to raise your taxes. They want to get rid of the police. He recently said that I don't think anybody should have a gun, but also on the flip side, I think felons should have guns too. Like, what are we even talking about here? It's unbelievable. I don't get it though. You guys vote what you get for. You guys vote for what you get. You get what you voted for. I mean, you are just a bunch of tribalists, just a bunch of low IQ, clown tribalists that have no independent thought. That is the absolute definition of a Democrat voter. On the right, there's always infighting because they're fighting for that line of like what is okay, what's approved. Where is the line for being a conservative? Where Democrats, it's just like, no, we need to be more extreme. Oh, first term abortion, not good enough. Abortion right before they're about to be born, still not good enough. If that kid has Down syndrome or autism, that kid should be aborted. That's their line. They want to go more extreme as it goes. It's just disgusting. Are they still talking?
Food excess,
Oh my
safety.
God. You know what the worst part
employment
is?
opportunities,
We still have another half an hour until like
economic development.
all of these recognizing crap stops. So I'm just gonna keep talking.
30th Street on the south,
We're gonna
Midland
we're just
and
gonna
Meridian
bullshit a
Street on
little
the
bit. We're gonna
east,
have a little
and
fun.
Martin Luther King Jr. Street on the west.
It's currently it is what is today? Is it the 30th?
Neighborhood residents
Yeah, today's the
participating in
30th.
own property.
I know I'll be a little bit better on these videos. I didn't really care right now because it's already
The challenges
gone.
and accomplishments of
None of this stuff
housing
really
development,
means anything right now.
investment,
The swearing in of the new counselors that'll happen January 1st at 11 o'clock at the Landmark Center. I'm actually thinking about going. I'm not sure though. It really depends. Hey, it really depends
Section 2,
on how late I'm staying on bowling. Yeah,
of our great
bowling.
city of Indianapolis. Section 3, the mayor is invited to join this resolution by affixing his signature here too. Section 4, this resolution
he's
shall
like,
be in full force and effect and
okay.
adoption and compliance with IC 36-3-4-14. The special resolution was sponsored
He's so
by
bored.
myself, Councilor Oliver, and hope to be passed by the City Council on this 4th day of December. Mr. President, I so move.
Second.
Motions are properly moved and seconded. Are those, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, nay? All right, very good. Motion carries. Back to the speaker.
All right, what's next?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I've said there's a whole lot that I wish to say about our city and this particular neighborhood, Crown Hill. Yes, it is. We have more persons, I was told, moving into Crown Hill versus more moving in than moving out. Great school, Short Ridge High School, Monroe great. Crown Hill, thank you. That school is in our neighborhood. Thank you. Mrs., would you please say some words for us, please?
Oh, my gosh. Thank you so very much. On behalf of the Crown Hill Neighborhood Association, I'd like to say thank you for passing this
I don't know if that's
resolution
true.
and acknowledging the work
Maybe
that the
illegal
Crown
to
Hill
start moving into
community
Crown
does
Hill?
in the community. We are a firm believer that what happens in one community affects all other communities. And we're excited to say
Is it?
that Crown Hill is the jewel of the city of Indianapolis.
No, it's not.
We're grateful for it. My name is Danita Hoskin, and I serve as the president of the Crown Hill Neighborhood
really not.
Association. I'm excited.
I'm not
to
even from
share
here, and
with
I know
you
that.
not only do I serve in the community that I live, but my family has lived there since 1952.
Nice.
I live on the block, on the very block that I was born, just literally a few houses from the house that my grandparents laid the foundation.
Nice.
I have here with me today a small representation
I'm not being
of the
sarcastic
Crown
either.
Hill
That's actually
Neighborhood
pretty cool.
Association. You will see that if you will indulge me for just a brief moment to
good job.
quickly introduce to you some of our members. Jonathan.
I don't mean to be rude, but I also don't give a shit. They're just dragging on and more yapping and more yapping. People want to go home and be done with this thing. You know, they don't get counselors don't get paid by the hour. They get paid by the meeting. So that's actually a very funny point too. So the counselor's pay will now go up, where before it was starting out at 12,000, I think, a year, 11 or 12,000 a year, and then they get paid so much money, depending what committees they're part of, if they're a chair and whatnot. You can actually go to Gov Salaries or open the books, and you can search their name and see how much they got paid that year. Hey, yeah. In case you didn't know, if you want to know how much certain government employees get paid, just go to Gov Salaries, govsalaries.com. You put in their name, make sure you get the right state, and there they are. There they are. And as far as I can tell, it's been at least for the last 10 years. So you can find out how much these people are going to get made. But anyway, so now counselors are going to be getting paid 3 times as much. So it's things like 32 grand they're starting off at, and then they get paid I don't even know how much per meeting, but I think when we did the math on it, it was like 50 grand a year that they're getting paid, and there's 25 members of that. So your taxpayer money is going to that, and they won't even return an email. How crazy is that? It's just so annoying. What are you gonna do about it though? All right, let's see what he has to say.
Across the United States come through that little corridor to come, so when they visit, and people come do a lot of visits when there is funeral. So I'm being told to carry short, so I will. But if you let me, I'll keep talking. Thank you for listening.
And Jonathan always brings with him his young son to show him what is occurring in our community. So our neighborhood association is comprised of the youth as well as some.
Okay, still doing it. All right, kind of what else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, the mental health thing. I kind of wanted to touch on that. It's a, some people find it that it's a touchy subject. Not for me though. It's not a touchy subject for me to talk about because this whole mental health thing is a giant scam. And let me explain why. You have people that have always had anxiety, have always had some sort of depression, whatever it is. People will always have anxiety. And right now how you're feeding it is with pills. And then people with that are okay with, oh, why don't you smoke a little weed and relax a little bit. For a lot of people, I would say more than half people that smoke weed, their anxiety goes right through the roof. So, what you're telling people is it's okay to be scared. You actually have a mental health problem because you're worried about something. Whatever that problem is, you're worried about traffic, you're worried about talking to people, you're worried about paying your bills, you're worried about anything and everything. But don't you worry. Hey, don't you worry. We got a pill for that. We're going to give you the pill that won't make you give a shit about anything. And even if there's not a pill, hey, guess what? Have a little CBD, have a little THC, and have a little bit of weed. Have a little bit of that electric Lazarus, the wacky tobacco, the devil's hair. Don't worry. And then what happens? Now you're reliant on it. It's just like any other thing. Once you're on it, and then you like the way that you're feeling, you're always going to be on it then. And that goes with coffee. That goes with foods. That goes with anything. If you like something, you're going to keep doing it. And then if it's illegal, you're definitely going to keep doing it. Oh, there's actually something wrong with that guy. That's my bad. But Crouch and Holcomb made it worse. In fact, everybody made it worse. Everybody in every elected position during 2020 that did not want to reopen everything made it so much worse. And I have a video on it. I think it was actually my very first video that I posted on my page. It was March of 2021. I know I've already talked about this. I'm going to talk about it again. It's March of 2021. The restaurants were getting mad about Uber Eats and DoorDash, about the fees that they charge. And so the council came up with a proposal. Hold on. All right, don't care. The council came up with a proposal to eliminate those fees, which I didn't even know was possible. Brian Mowry came in and said, well, why don't we just open everything back up? That way, you don't have to worry about the fees. People will just go into the restaurant and they don't have to worry about door dashing anything. So instead of agreeing with that, John Barth, Keith Potts, McCormick, I think Carlino, Kristen Jones for sure, Dan Boots for sure, and I think a couple other people, they were like, how dare you? How dare you? We need to trust the health experts, and we need to trust of what they say, even though they were one of the biggest hypocrites ever. You think I'm going to trust about what some fat fuck tells me about my health? No. Tell you what, no. Why don't you worry about laying off the Mountain Dew and start drinking a little bit more water and instead of telling me what to do, pal? I'm way more healthier than you. All right, what do we got?
Welcome you into our neighborhood. We're so glad to have you.
Oh, God, we're still talking about this. Good God. Had a little glitch there for a second. Don't worry, we didn't miss anything.
that when someone move into the neighborhood, knock on the door and say, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is who we are. We got a beautiful school.
Oh.
We got beautiful churches. We got beautiful grocery stores. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's the standard and that's the bar. We're raising the bar.
Really?
Of
Really?
expectation, of beautification in our neighborhood.
Oh.
And Crown, neighborhood in Fall Creek, United Northeast, is one of those neighborhoods that we're going to recognize this evening. Mr. Keith Graves, Councilor Graves, would you please?
It's so dumb. Yeah, can you imagine if a white guy came up to some newly moved in black family? He's like, hey, you, this is how we do things around here. You better comply. No way would that work out well. Hey, Oliver said it was okay. This is how we do things. Yeah.
East side of Indianapolis, I couldn't be more proud of this particular special resolution because I know full well what this group has done for our community on the east side of Indianapolis. We're talking about reversing unfortunate trends and unfortunate curses.
Of what?
That I'm sure there are so many council people that came before us and were working hard and they had the heart, and we met so many people in our community, the strong men and women in our community that make it what it is. But it's just something about over these last 4, 5, 6 years that we've seen just tremendous transformation. And I want to thank my colleagues on the council under the leadership of our president, mayor's administration, and so many people that brought the attention, much needed attention, to the east side of Indianapolis.
Still a shithole.
This United Northeast
Nothing's gotten better.
Serves. So with that, the council, City of Indianapolis, Marion County, this is the City County Special Resolution number 43, 2023.
Oh my God.
A special resolution recognizing United Northeast Community Development Corporation. Whereas since 1995, the United Northeast Community Development Corporation, UNIC, has been committed to enhancing the quality of life that benefits every resident, business, organization, and visitor with the Indianapolis's Northeast community. And whereas through the brokering of resources and services between community residents and community partners, UNIC offers the following: community resources and convening services, owner-occupied home repair services, community building through Northeast Corridor quality of life planning, grassroots and community partnership capacity building assistance, social determinants of health and community health advocacy, small business technical assistance, community advocacy, promoting equitable community development, and resident self-sufficiency programming. And whereas UNIC's partnerships with corporate and community entities have yielded results that improve the quality of life for the residents of the Northeast side, they are speaking to the needs of the community and providing pathways towards a better future. And whereas UNIC's mission is to bring resources from community partners to those who live in the community, they endeavor to create healthier, happier, and more effective Northeast Indy community. Now, therefore, Mr. Chairman.
Be resolved by the City County Council.
All right, we don't care. Yeah, what he's talking about is all the affirmative action hires in the city, to the point where like they have special departments. They have a quota. This is actually one of the funniest things ever, is that the government has to have a quota of how many I would say like blacks, Hispanics, Asians, and women, and how many are actually in the administration. And when the contracts are going out, so many of there has to be affirmative action contracts too. And they have a department. It's called the XBE, I think. XBE department. It's the Office of Minority Business Owners. And their job is to confirm of which businesses in Marion County are run or owned by blacks, Hispanics, women, etc. And so those people will use them as contract of whatever you have, whatever city contract is coming up, or they have to, whatever project they're going to do, they have to have a certain percent of that contract given to XPE owners. And so, if you want to go through the campaign reports and find out which people and which businesses are giving money to some of these elected officials, you will find quite the correlation. And I will tell you one of them right now. VS Engineering I think it's owned by some Indian dude. And VS Engineering gave thousands of dollars to Joe Hogsett this year, I think. Maybe this year, maybe a little bit of last year. But VS Engineering got the contract to do a survey on Sherman Park. Sherman Park, which used to hold the old RCA building, they demolished it, and now they're checking it out to see like how messed up the ground is, so they can start developing on there. Because really, what they want to do is they want to put another soda sopa there. Well, so I think it was 2 years ago, the what is it, Indianapolis Animal Control? I think so, IACS, they got millions of dollars approved by the city council to build a new building. Them, waste management, and I think a fire department. I'm not 100% sure on that, but definitely waste management and IACS. They got millions of dollars approved. Well, let me tell you what happened. Waste management got their building, but IACS never got their building. IACS was supposed to go to Sherman Park. Well, if you go to the VS Engineering site and you click onto like what projects are we checking out right now or planning on doing, you'll see that the Sherman Park project is in there, and it says it's going to cost $12 million to fix that ground before anything is put on there. So they wanted to do it the cheapest way possible. So during the mayor election, Jefferson Shreve, he brought this up. It's like, hey, where's our building? I'm an animal guy. Where's this new ICS building? So he started talking about it. This is actually how I started researching on where the money was going. And then within like a week or two, Hogsett puts out this thing of saying like, oh, we found a new spot for it. It's actually going to be over here, which I think is on like near Raymond. It's like on the near Garfield Park area. And it's like, oh wow, after 2 years and knowing that it's going to cost $12 million to even get the area ready for the IACS building, now you're talking about it. Okay, how convenient. They're still yapping. They're still yapping. Even she's disgusted. Look at her. I can't believe I'm still here. How dare these people keep me up here? They won't stop talking. Ah! Look at her. It's like she's just trying to. Yeah, it's so great. It's so awesome. Can we just shut up so we can move on with our lives? Hey, this whole recognition is great and all, but holy shit. And maybe I have to do a little bit of yapping too so I can fill up time because this is so boring. This is what I hate about city council meetings is that you're recognizing all these neighborhoods or people or whatever, and it's just so bloody boring. Hey, guess what? Get the proposals through, run it up, let's go. This is more like lip service to certain areas and certain organizations, so they'll donate and to elected officials, and those are voters. So if so if you're in an election time during election year and you're running for mayor or city council and you're like, oh yeah, I'm really going to stick up for you. I really care. And then it's like, hey, you know what? I think you should be recognized by the city council. You guys do amazing work here. Even though it literally does nothing. You're not getting like I guess you could get a plaque, maybe. I think you get like a certificate because you were introduced in a proposal. It's so dumb. It's so lame. It's just lip service for jerking each other off. I do want to tell a little bit of a story, though. I want to see what. Are we done here yet? Are we done here yet? All right. It's like 20 minutes of agonizing yapping.
All right. Just in closing, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge one of our staff members that's here. Behind me, we have Summer Burks. So thinking about anything from workforce, those direct hires, Again, we want to change the statistic of what we've been seen for. So she's out there day in and day out and just bringing a lot of pride to our community. And also we have board members, Dr. Kimberly McElroy-Jones, who is a part of the Eskenazi Health Team. So thinking about a lot of our efforts around Health Equity Zone. Medicine is also housing. Medicine's food. Medicine is also too realizing community connectedness. So having her thought partnership and just overall mentorship over the years is just great. And
these people are insane.
Change. And then lastly, making sure we stay compliant. We definitely have much love and appreciation for our residents, which is Francine Raleigh, in legal works herself, but again, her heart, passion has just transcended us to really feel we're making a difference. So again, thank you so much for this time and recognition.
Lovely.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is proposal number 377, which recognizes the public service of Councilors Zach Adamson, Ethan Evans, Monroe Gray.
Okay. I actually got to listen to this one. This sounds fun.
Potts, and David Ray.
It's just a
Thank
mockery.
you, Mr. President. Recognizing that the hour is getting late, I promise to be brief. So, councilors, if you don't mind joining us up front, a special resolution recognizing the public service of Vice President Zach Adamson, Councilor Ethan Evans, Chairman Monroe Gray Jr., Councilor Jason Larison, Chairman William Duke Oliver, Councilor Keith Potts, and Chairman David Ray. Whereas responsible citizens who willingly and actively engage in the political process are the foundation of democracy, and whereas the pursuit and achievement of elected office with the intended commitments to self, time, and energy represents one of the highest expressions of citizenship participation, and
whereas City County Councilors Zach Adamson, Ethan Evans, Monroe Gray Jr., Jason Larison, William Duke Oliver, Keith Potts, and David Ray have integrity, sincerity, and served their constituents and the people of Indianapolis. And whereas the leadership of Indianapolis has changed the landscape of Indianapolis and laid the groundwork for future endeavors to the benefit of both citizens and guests of the Circle City. Whereas their experience, insight, and dedication to the city of Indianapolis, its citizens, and the City County Council has impacted all those they have served alongside and will continue to do so in their next ventures. Whereas councilors, you want to come up?
Whereas councilors Zach Adamson, Ethan Evans, Monroe Gray Jr., Jason Larison, William Duke Oliver, Keith Potts, and David Ray have over 90 years of combined service to the city of Indianapolis, have served as president, vice president, majority leader, chair, and on every council committee. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City County Council of the City of Indianapolis and of Marion County, Indiana. Section 1, the Indianapolis City County Council recognizes the dedicated service given by councilors Zach Adamson, Ethan Evans, Monroe Gray Jr., Jason Larison, William Duke Oliver, Keith Potts, and David Ray as members of the council. Section 2, on behalf of the citizens of Indianapolis, the council extends its appreciation and gratitude to councilors Zach Adamson, Ethan Evans, Monroe Gray Jr.,
even him,
and David Ray. And we know they will remain active participants in the life of this community. Section 3 is that the mayor is invited to join in this resolution by affixing his signature here to Section 4. This resolution shall be in full force and effect upon adoption and compliance with IC 36-3-4-14. This special resolution was sponsored by all councilors and was passed by the City County Council on the 4th day of December 2023. I so move.
Second.
Motion's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, signify by nay. Motion carries. Back to the speakers.
Thank you, Mr. President. If you don't mind, if we can take 2 seconds just to celebrate these amazing outgoing councilors.
No one cares. Business as usual. I hate to break it to you. Who's this guy? You want any words? Are we doing any words? Thankfully, we're not doing any words. All right. Awesome. Lovely. No one cares. All right. No one's talking. Perfect. No one's talking. Okay. So very funny. Real quick. So Keith Potts. So he talked about Duke Oliver, Ethan Evans, Keith. Oh shit. I don't even know. Hold on.
Your service. The next item on our agenda is proposal number 316, refer to Metropolitan Economic Development Committee. Chairman Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. President. With consent, I would like to take proposals number 316 to 324 together. Proposal number 316 reappoints Brian Barton to the Marion County Property Tax Assessment.
Okay, don't care. All right, so real quick, Potts, he wasn't running for re-election because he's going to run for Senate. Now he dropped out, so I don't know what happened there. Monroe Gray Jr., he got primaried out by Breanne Delaney. Breanne Delaney's husband ran for Marion County prosecutor, very heavy in the Democrat arena. She's also part of the Hoosier Women Forward, some feminist group. Zach Adamson, he got primaried out from Jesse Brown, who is a actual socialist, part of the DSA, flip-flopper, head bobber Brown. David Ray, he got primaried out by Andy Nielsen. He's a trust fund baby who lives with his parents and doesn't have a full-time job. And then Jason Larison, originally he got caucused in. Yeah. And then he just decided not to run for re-election. I think he's part of the IACS.
Economic Improvement District Board. All proposals passed out of committee by a vote of 11 to 0. Mr. President, I so move.
Motions are properly moved and seconded. Any comments from councilors? All right, seeing none, let's proceed to the board for a vote.
Oh, it shows green. Oh,
Motion
that's
carries
weird.
24 to 0.
Huh, that's weird.
The next item on our agenda is proposal number 338, referred to Parks and Recreation Committee. Chairman Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Proposal number 338, propose to reappoint Joseph Wynn to the Board of Parks and Recreation. Mr. President, the committee met by a vote of 6 to 0. It was confirmed. We send it to the full council for due pass recommendation. Thank you, sir.
Motion is proposal number 325, refer to Metropolitan and Economic Development Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Proposal number 338, propose to reappoint Joseph Wynn to the Board of Parks and Recreation. Mr. President, the committee met by a vote
We got
of 6 to
5
0.
minutes
It was
left.
confirmed. We send it to the full council for due pass recommendation. Thank you, sir.
Motion is probably moved and seconded. Are there comments from councilors?
Then I'm going to split the
All right,
video
seeing
in
none,
half.
let's proceed to the board for a vote. Motion carries 24 to 0. The next item on our agenda is proposal number 339, referred to Parks and Recreation Committee. Chairman Oliver.
Yes, Mr. President. Proposal 339 reappoints Mr. Carlos Simpson to the Indianapolis Greenway Development Committee. By a vote of 6 to 0, it was moved.
You're all just
passed by the full
reappointments
committee,
to everything.
recommend to the full council with that recommendation. Mr. President, I so move.
All right. Motion is properly moved and seconded. Are there comments from councilors? All right, seeing none, let's proceed to the board for our vote.
Nothing. So there's also like one more council meeting. It was a committee meeting for the Parks and Rec. I listened to it. There's basically just like an end of the year review. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. I never watch these videos. I'll listen to them at work and then I'll kind of decide if I want to watch them. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. It'll be my goodbye for the year. I don't know.
Appoints Dean Babcock to the Assessment and Intervention Center Advisory Board. The proposal passed out of committee 10-0. Proposal 341 reappoints Fred Purvine to the Emergency Services Agency Board. It passed out of committee 10-0. Proposal 342 reappoints Dwayne Ingram to the Board of Public Health and Safety. That proposal
Almost
passed
there,
out of
boys.
committee 10-0. Proposal 344 appoints Rhonda Veen to the Domestic Violence Fatality Review Team. The proposal passed out of committee.
I would love to find that review board. If I could find that, that'd be awesome. I'm going to put it in my notes, actually. I'm going to see if I can find a fatality crash and domestic. I would love to see those meetings.
Are there any comments from councilors?
Nope. No one
All right,
cares.
seeing none, let's proceed to the board for our vote.
So, I don't know how it's going to come out, but it shows black on my laptop, but it's actually
24-0.
green.
The next item on our agenda is proposal number 352.
I don't know if it's a transfer
Referred to
or
Public
what.
Works Committee, Chairman Adamson.
Thank you, Mr. President. With consent, I'd like to take proposals 352, 353, and 354 together. Thank you. Proposal number 352 reappoints Dan Haight to the Board of Public Works. 353 reappoints Damon Richards to the Fatal Crash Review Team, and proposal 354 reappoints Ted Grain to the Fatal Crash Review Team. Councilor Carlino moves, seconded by Councilor McCormick, to send proposals 352 through 354 to the full council with a due pass recommendation, and that motion carried by a vote of 8-0, and I so move.
Motion has been properly moved and seconded. Are there comments from councilors? All right, seeing none, let's proceed to the board for our vote.
Where's Gray? There we go.
Motion carries 24-0. The next item on our agenda, well, we are at the end of our term, so there are no new proposals going into the new term. The next item on our agenda is special orders priority business. Proposal numbers 387 through 395, 2023, are all rezonings that were certified to the council for approval by the Metropolitan Development Commission. If no one wishes to call any of these proposals down for a public hearing, they will pass into law. Is there anyone who wishes to call down any of these? All right, seeing none, proposal numbers 387 through 395, 2023 will now pass into law.